Good evening. We'll start the meeting a little bit early today, calling the meeting to order at 4:55 p.m. Before we get started, just want to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe Cree, Assiniboine, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and homeland of the Métis Nation. We affirm our commitment to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. So we just got a couple of quick little procedural items moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that council accepts the regular council meeting agenda as presented. All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. And moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Be it resolved that council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of our regular council meeting from October 7th. Any questions or comments related to the minutes? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare and seconded by Councillor Ray. Be resolved that council approves the presentation of the City of Dauphin Sunshine Award to Brenda Gregory. So this is where we get into the formal stuff. I'm glad that Brenda is here. Do we need the mic? Just because. Okay. No, I'll just swing around. So we're doing the mic only in case someone is watching in far away, right? But the Sunshine Awards is a program that council, is this working? I'm talking funny. That council agreed to put into place this year to acknowledge people that do really amazing things in our community. So we had a formal presentation. Unfortunately, you missed the formal one with the dainties and all the coffee and stuff, but I'm glad you're here on the following meeting. So not to spend too much time going over what the Sunshine Awards are all about necessarily, except to say that council has a policy in place to acknowledge citizen contributions. However, we wanted to formalize it a teeny bit, and with help from Martine and other members of council, we came up with the concept of Sunshine Awards, City of Sunshine, and we wanted to do it during October, during Thanksgiving weekend, or Thanksgiving period. And so just the notion of acknowledging people that do wonderful things for our community. So I'm going to take another minute or so just to say that I've known Brenda for a long time, 40-ish or so years. And she was originally on the Dauphin Joint Rec Commission when I was their first employee. And so from a very early time in my professional career, she was a tremendous mentor and a thoughtful person on the board, which is kind of ironic because she's still thoughtful. However, I saw it with my own eyes yesterday, where in the early 90s, when she was on the rec commission, she was a sports mom, an activity mom, involved with her kids in the community and doing a lot of great things in our community. I'm not going to go through a lot of the specifics, but I saw her yesterday at Northgate with the next generation, with her two grandsons, and still being up there and caring a great deal. And so the award recipients this year, Jerry Joss, Carla Steiner, Clayton Swanton, and Brenda Gregory, are all similar kinds of people in a particular way, and that they give back to the community without expecting any recognition or acknowledgement for the work that they put in, the tireless volunteer work. And Brenda in particular has marshaled the Dauphin Derailleur Cycle Club since its inception in 2017, since 2017, and has been like the mother hen of the organization and has nurtured it and supported it. And the only other thing I'll say is that, you know, for the last couple of summers in particular, she's been out on the trails, plus 35 degrees, working with the green team, backpack, like a leaf blower backpack or a weed eater, or running kids back and forth on the trail system, just making sure that we have this tremendous asset up there, Northgate. So that's just one example. Brenda, if you don't mind coming up, we have, we think, a cute little plaque that you get to have, and a little bag of stuff. But let's do the picture for Martine. And okay. And a little swag bag. You want to, and okay, and Sean will get a picture of all of us. Do you want to say anything? You can. It's your chance.
Just to say thank you. It was big surprise. It was a shock, really. And knowing what all of you have on your plate and the scope of everything that you do, that you had the wherewithal to acknowledge people in the community, I really commend you, and I think it's a wonderful idea going forward. So thank you very much. And Martine, you too, and all the staff. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, because without people like you, we're not the great little community that we are. And I think that your involvement and your engagement, continuing to work on great stuff, is what we're all about. So that's what's important to us. Council, let's just jump up here. Then don't go anywhere. Keep doing everything you do. Thank you. See you later. That was nice that she could make it into town. And like I said yesterday, just riding at Northgate, I'm coming around the corner, and there she is, two grandkids, planning on what needs to be done before fall. Was out the day before with the leaf blower blowing leaves off the trail. So great community volunteer. Hey, Dev, good to see you online. We started a few minutes early just because Brenda was here. So we'll move right next to the next item on the agenda, which is the consent agenda. We've got a number of action items, some outstanding receivable accounts, two roll 00-43800, $255.15 for weed control, and also roll number 00-48600, $945, also for weed control. And those are as the recommendations of the finance and director of finance and our tax clerk. We have a number of proclamations today, and we have 5 councillors present and 5 proclamations. So we'll start with World Polio Day.
Thank you, Mayor Bosiak. Whereas Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers who see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change in communities across the globe. And whereas in 1985, Rotary launched Polio Plus, and in 1988 helped to establish the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, which today includes the World Health Organization, WHO, U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, UNICEF, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to immunize the children of the world against polio. And whereas polio cases have dropped by 99.9% since 1988, and the world stands on the threshold of eradicating the disease, thanks in large part to Rotary's contribution of more than $1.9 billion and countless volunteer hours to protect more than 2.5 billion children in 122 countries. And whereas on August 25th, 2020, the WHO declared the African region to be free of wild polio virus, an incredible achievement worth celebrating after a decades-long commitment by Rotarians, their partners, and millions of healthcare workers and supporters. And whereas Rotary is working to raise an additional $50 million per year, which would be leveraged for maximum impact by an additional $100 million annually from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And whereas these efforts are providing much needed operational support, medical staff, laboratory equipment, and educational materials in the fight for a polio-free world, we, the City of Dauphin, proclaim October 24th, 2024 as World Polio Day.
Thank you, Councillor Sobering. The next proclamation regarding Radon Action Month. Councillor Bellemare.
Thank you. Whereas radon is an odorless, colorless, tasteless, invisible radioactive gas that comes from the soil and enters homes and buildings as a carcinogen that causes more than 3,200 deaths per year in Canada. And whereas non-smokers who have high levels of radon in their homes over their lifetime have a 1 in 20 chance of developing lung cancer, and for smokers this risk is 1 in 3. And whereas about 24% of Manitobans may be living in homes with radon levels higher than Health Canada's guideline of 200 becquerels per cubic meter, and whereas in 2023-24, there were 139 City of Dauphin residents that participated in Take Action on Radon's free test kit challenge, and the results indicated that 92% of the homes, and I'm going to repeat that, 92% of the homes tested had radon levels exceeding Health Canada's guideline, which highlights the urgent need to address radon levels in the homes and buildings in our community. And whereas the science is very clear in supporting the need to take proactive steps at all levels of government to protect our residents from this radioactive gas that is prevalent in many communities in Manitoba, and whereas throughout the month of November, the City of Dauphin will be rolling out initiatives that provide guidance and resources for residents to test for and mitigate radon, including a digital test device lending program in partnership with Dauphin Public Library, as well as 100 free radon test giveaway. And whereas the City of Dauphin encourages all residents to test, assess, and mitigate to protect themselves and their families from the serious health effects related to radon exposure. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim November 2024 as Radon Action Month, dated at the City in the province's 21st day of October.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. The third proclamation for today is regarding Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Councillor Ray.
Thank you, Mayor Boziak. Whereas lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death among men and women in Canada, accounting for more deaths than colon cancer, breast cancer, and prostate cancer combined. And whereas more than 20,000 Canadians are expected to die of lung and bronchus cancer in 2024, representing nearly 1/4 of all cancer deaths in Canada. And whereas, according to research by Canadian oncologists, lung cancer is expected to be the most commonly diagnosed cancer in Canada, with more than 30,000 new lung cancer cases expected in 2024. And whereas funding for lung cancer research trails far behind funding for research of many other cancers, and additional research is needed in early diagnosis, screening, and treatment for lung cancer, as well as in lung cancer affecting women and lung cancer health disparities. And whereas organizations working in Canada, such as the Canadian Lung Cancer Screening Initiative, are committed to educating about lung cancer and lung cancer screening, and are working to increase lung cancer screening rates. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim November 2024 as Lung Cancer Awareness Month.
Thank you, Councillor Ray. I think that Deputy Mayor Loughlin is next.
Thank you. This one's for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Whereas domestic violence is prevalent across all ethnic, racial, age, social, and economic groups and occurs regardless of marital status or sexual orientation. And whereas the Parkland Crisis Center and Women's Shelter opened its doors in Dauphin on October 31st, 1992, to provide alternatives to violent living for women and their children fleeing domestic, family, and or gender-based violence. And whereas through the provision of emergency shelter, counseling, education, and advocacy, the Parkland Crisis Center and Women's Shelter strives to empower abuse survivors to make positive life changes. And whereas in 2023-2024, the Parkland Crisis Center and Women's Shelter provided 1,553 safe emergency residential shelter bed nights and services to women and their children experiencing domestic, family, and or gender-based violence, and received approximately 1,465 crisis line calls. And whereas the City of Dauphin commends the Parkland Crisis Center and Women's Shelter and other public and private entities that strive to end the cycle of violence in homes and communities across the Parkland. And now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim November 2024 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Laughlin. And finally, Councillor Daly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas medical radiation technologists are an essential link between patients and the sophisticated medical imaging and radiotherapy technology in Manitoba's healthcare system, and whereas the City of Dauphin recognizes the vital contributions of medical radiation technologists to safe and appropriate healthcare in this province, and whereas other healthcare providers depend on the specialized skills and expertise of medical radiation technologists to ensure patients receive timely diagnosis and treatments. And whereas Medical Radiation Technologists Week is an opportunity to recognize and acknowledge the expertise and dedication of medical radiation technologists, as well as to encourage others to enter this vital profession. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim November 3rd to November 9th, 2024 as Medical Radiation Technologists Week.
Thank you, Councillor Daly. And motion by Councillor Daly, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, be resolved that all items listed and read under the item 5 consent agenda be approved and form part of these minutes. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be resolved that we accept as information the corporate report for October 21st meeting from the ICT manager. Any questions or comments regarding Justin's report? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Be resolved that the finance accounts, having been examined by council, be hereby authorized and approved as follows. We had 109 checks in the recent run for a total of $689,391.19. There were no voided checks. In the current range, there were no voided checks in the past range, and we had no electronic payments during this period. Questions or comments regarding the approval of this report? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be resolved that we accept as information the unaudited financial statements for the period ending August 2024, including the general fund balance sheet and income statement and the utility fund balance sheet and income statement. Any questions or comments? No? Call all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. I'd just like to commend Scott and the folks in Finance Department with staff adjustments and changes over the last couple months. He's just about right up to date again. I know there was a little bit of panic, a little bit in the spring with getting some of these reports completed, but we're right up to date. So congrats to the folks for getting that work done. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be resolved that Council accepts as information the reserve report for the period also ending in August 2024. Questions or comments regarding the reserve report? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Sticalo, seconded by Deputy Mayor Lachlan. Be resolved that we accept as information the budget variance report for the period ending August 2024. Questions or comments? All in favor? I'm going to catch you, Christian. Yeah, you know, you're worried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that we accept as information the Protective Services report for the meeting from the Animal Services Officer for September of 2024. Any questions or comments regarding this report? No? Could I ask the Deputy City Manager, is there anything of note? How's it been going with the new Animal Services setup?
Things have been going extremely well. Our Animal Services Officer, David McGuinness, has been very responsive to all of the calls and concerns and complaints about animals running at large. And I think there's just a general sense in the community that people are just feeling more content that there's a good response and a quick response to their concerns regarding animals. And stay tuned because we're working on a new animal bylaw, which will be rolled out quite soon to be effective January 1st. And there are some big changes coming in that bylaw. Thank you.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none? Carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be resolved that Council accepts as information the minutes and reports from the following committees. We have two items from Fort Dauphin Museum, their regular board meeting minutes of September the 4th and their manager's report dated October the 2nd. We had the regular board meeting September 23rd from the Parkland Regional Library. And we had the regular board meeting minutes of September 25th from Dauphin Rec Services. Any members of council on any of these committees have any additional information to share? Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? None? Carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated October the 21st from Lori Bremner, the finance coordinator of the Dauphin District Handy Van Association, requesting financial support from the city in the amount of $10,000 to assist with the licensing of fleet vehicles and rent. Further be resolved that council forwards the funding request from Dauphin District Handy Van to the city's 2025 budget deliberations for consideration. Questions or comments regarding this? All in favor? Opposition? None? Carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that bylaw 06/2024, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin, amending the bylaw 07/2023 to authorize expenditure and borrowing of money for the South End land drainage system as a local improvement, be now read first time. Questions or comments? All in favor of that motion? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following community event, the Dauphin Firefighters Ball on November the 2nd, 2024. Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? None? Carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Lachlan. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the councillors' reports for the regular meeting of October 21st. Councillor Sobring, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, thank you. It hasn't been a very busy chunk of time for me, meetings-wise. I was on holiday for about a 5-day period, and I went to Chicago. So I guess technically I did explore some of the bike lanes they had there firsthand. So doesn't matter where you are, you're always on the job and looking for opportunities as well. And other than that, the committees have been quiet. We have economic development coming up. And other than that, I have not had a handy van or cemetery meeting since the last meeting. And that ends my report.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Lachlan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For me, yeah, it's been pretty quiet time as well, obviously with Thanksgiving and all that sort of stuff. I did attend, of course, that regular meeting on October 7th here at City Hall. And then last Thursday, we had a Communities in Bloom meeting here at City Hall as well. And that does it for me. I do want to wish, I don't think we're back between now and then. So happy Halloween to all the kids out there. And we'll see you after that.
Councillor Sticilo, you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, apologies for the technical issues here. I think I hopefully have them rectified for the time being. Similar story to my previous two councillors' reports there. For myself, it's been a little bit quiet, and with the holiday weekend tied into that, so I was in attendance for the last regular council meeting and on the committees and on the committee front, there hasn't really been any meetings. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Stakilo. Councillor Bellemare.
I have a 4-page long report. Just kidding. Mine's short too. On the 15th, we had a short community safety and well-being teams call with the management team, and then the next day we had a focus group at the Active Living Center with Deputy City Manager Lisa, and we received several key points from the seniors who attended. Those were the 3 questions that we asked them, the focusing questions. I was at the same community and Bloom meeting that Christian was at, and we identified some items for discussion because we're going to start planning for 2025, and we've got a big meeting coming up in November with that topic. With regard to Halloween, a reminder that the Secord Corn Maze is now open. It's located just a couple of miles north of Dauphin on Highway 20, and they're starting the scary Halloween After Dark version, if you dare. I went on the retired teacher's afternoon in the sunshine version of that, and it was fun. And also a big thank you to Glenn Irvine, who has just announced his retirement. Glenn has been the Dauphin Public Library branch supervisor for 18 years and brought many positive qualities to the job. He will be missed by many. The position is now being advertised with a closing date of November the 15th. Job description is available by contacting Allison Moss at Parkland Regional Library. So if you know of anyone who you think would be a strong candidate for this job, please encourage them to apply. And this concludes my report.
Thanks, Councillor Bellemare. Councillor Ray.
Thank you, Mayor Boziak. October 7th, I attended our last regular council meeting. On the 10th, I attended the DART meeting, committee meetings held at the Dauphin Friendship Center. And on the 16th, we had our CSWB Teams meeting with CCFSC. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councillor Daly. You got to spend some time talking, Randy, because...
No, I thought... Oh, all right. Thank you. Attended the last regular meeting on October 7th. On October 11th, met with the Ag Minister / our MLA with respect to some vet board issues and some planning work we have ongoing with vet recruiting and vet sustainability efforts underway. I also sit on a smaller group. There's 26 vet boards in the province, so 5 reps from those groups have gotten together to work with the Ag Minister and his senior staff to work on a plan for vet sustainability and recruiting. On the 16th, I met with Carol Stewart, who's the director of Assiniboine College, to kind of broach those subjects with respect to expansion or working with adding to the college with vet tech training potential and foreign vets who have licenses but need upgrading in Canada to see if there's something we can work with the Ag Society and other partners to offer those courses here at the Parkland campus. Other than that, that's what that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll just wrap up with a couple of things. There was a very interesting meeting with several members of council, economic development, our city manager. We had a housing meeting with a couple of potential investors and developers. And so we're on the very front end of having some conversations, but it was a very interesting and positive discussion about some of the future opportunities in our community to deal with our housing situation. And I made a presentation on the city's response to the disaster bus accident last June at the Disaster Manitoba Provincial Conference last week in Winnipeg, and was, had a lot of discussions with lots of different community members and EMTs and some other folks from around the province, but fairly good, I think, a sizable crowd, and a lot of people were thinking about our community and still are. So it was kind of pleasant to, in a tragic situation, to see that other people are thinking about us, and we're thinking about the folks from Carberry especially, and the first responders particularly that were on site. But so I spent some time there. Lots of other councillors and other mayors and reeves were at that event. And then just a reminder that those of you that are eligible to vote in the upcoming school board election, which is going to be held on October the 30th. So I think pre-voting or early voting is already completed, or that might be this week, Sean? Okay, but I think there may be an opportunity up to the 24th, I think, to go to the school division office if you're eligible, and or then on voting day. And I think it's at the Friendship Center, correct? All right, so that ends my report. All in favor of accepting the council reports? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. And moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be resolved that council meeting be recessed at 5:26 p.m. All in favor? Not even close to your record. Hey, Christian? Nice try, though.